Welcome to another Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday. Brought to you by the National RV Training Academy, the largest hands-on RV training academy in America. Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday.
Welcome back to part 3 of Q&A, Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday. And if you like this format...
Hi, I'm Q. He's the A.
I'm the biggest A there is. If you like this format, we may, turn this into a podcast. So let us know in the comments if that's what you want to see.
Oh, can you see us with the nice little mics and all of that stuff?
Yeah. If you want to pan to the left a little bit, you kind of see a setup.
Yeah.
Well,
so regardless whether you say no or yes, it's going to happen, people.
All right. Angela Liam. Angel Elam.
Did I hear a Liam in there?
Angel, ELAM, 3017.
You don't know who I am.
I just bought a surge protector for my RV, used it for the first time at a campground, and got an error code, so we didn't use the protector for that trip. Got home, plugged it in, got the same error code.
Okay.
I looked it up, and it says reverse polarity.
I
have never been shocked, nor do I seem to have electrical problems with my trailer. Please advise.
Well, you got a reverse polarity situation going on. That's what it's seeing. Yes, you haven't been shocked yet. Now, reverse polarity in and of itself, depending on which wire it is, doesn't create a hot skin, but it makes you one step closer. Now, reverse polarity means somewhere we have wires that were misplaced. Now, based on what you said you got the reverse polarity code at an RV park, but you also got the reverse polarity code in your next to your house, right? So it's not the sources because you had two different sources. That means you've got a miswire inside the RV. Yes, you haven't been shocked. Is it super important? Well, we'd like to have it wired correctly. I mean, that's why we have codes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you plug in your EMS or your surge protector, whatever, into your pedestal, if your coach has a reverse polarity issue, it'll actually report that. It's not just what's coming from...
Yeah, 2 brands right now does that I'm aware. There could be some others. I know that the Southwire Surge Guard will check that neutral on the way back, but I think the Watchdog will check forward and back as well.
I bet you
there may be another brand up there that does it as well.
I bet you a lot of people only assume that it was coming from was coming from the pedestal.
And mostly, yeah, that's the way it was doing. They're beginning, every time something comes out, they kind of step it up a little bit.
Now, there could be a possibility where she just has really bad luck, and she has reverse polarity in both places. But that's good to know.
Yeah.
Steve with an M, Steven 268.
There we go.
One subject regarding RV batteries is charging while driving, particularly a trailer. Does a typical 7-pin connector supply sufficient power to recharge a trailer battery using the vehicle's alternator while driving?
Yeah, so if you probably look, I'm going to guess, but I think it's the 4-pin. Number 4. On that 7-pin, it'll say 12 plus charging. It does charge. But you got distance, there's your battery at the front of your car, or truck, because who pulls an RV with a car? This is not the Volkswagen days. All right. So you got your 20-foot there, and then you got another 10 or 15-foot. You got a small wire, and whatever size alternator you have. Now, here's the thing. The alternator is going to take care of whatever your DC load is inside the truck first. You're going to get a nominal amount to the back. I think the question, did I hear sufficiently or something like that? Yeah.
Sufficient power to recharge. But I guess it would also depend if you're running up the street versus driving to another state.
Yeah, length of time. There's a lot of conditions there. It does charge, but not quickly.
All right, Gary Fanning's 2769. All I found was 3, and this is regarding the Sanitizing RV water heater, summarizing your RV series that we did a while ago.
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah, all I found was 3% vinegar, not 30. Also, did you add water with vinegar to top off the 6 or more gallons? Didn't we just do this one in the first?
Yeah, we did. So if you're using 3%, technically 5%, 100%, right? You got to buy 5 gallons. If you do the 30%, go into your local tractor supply store or a farm and ranch place where they sell the 30% because that's how you kill weeds. That one we want to dilute.
Yeah.
And it's also more expensive.
Or go watch part 1 or 2 whenever we mentioned.
Two weeks ago.
We answered this.
Your question is so 2 weeks old.
And he asked it 3 weeks ago. So we apologize. Like I said, we get a lot of comments and we're wanting to get to them. But it's hard. But we are making a commitment to you to answer these questions
I
as
just
much as we
like,
can.
dude, answer your question quicker.
I know. All right. AGACIC. I have a small Class C RV. Instead of upgrading to solar panels and lithium batteries, can I plug in a portable power bank into my 30 amp shore power connection? I know I can't run the microwave or AC, but I assume my other 120 volt equipment will work and my 12 volt house batteries will get charged. I assume I could charge the battery bank with my generator or when I'm driving. Question would be, what size and type of power bank would you recommend?
What the hell's a power bank?
Well, it's probably
He
like
used the word generator.
like a Jackery.
A
type
Jackery
thing.
or something.
So he's got.
Yeah, that's just not efficient. So a Jackery or a portable power bank, or I think some of the terms we're starting to use now is like a solar generator. Has a battery of some sort, usually typically 12 volts, a small inverter, and then a power source. In other words, a plug, 120 volt plug. So the inverter, it takes energy to change energy. You're going to pull, power from the battery. It's going to convert it to 120 volts, which now you're going to run it into your rig, which then turns around, takes the 120 volts, steps it down to 12 volts to charge your battery. That's very inefficient. Can it be done? Yes. What size? Ooh, those things are expensive for portability's sake. Quite honestly, if you just get the components yourself, or have someone install them, you can get a much bigger system for the same cost. But any of those will work. It just depends on how much power can you pull out of those. A small Jackery may only have 1,500 watts total. A larger Jackery may have 3,000 watts total that you can pull. And that's pretty much all you can pull. Now, you take off a certain percentage, typically like 10%. So out of 1,500 watts, you're only going to get really about 1,300 watts. And so on.
So Joseph Fink, 3165, kind of asked the same thing. Would you consider showing how to add, say, a Harbor Freight 100 amp portable Thunderbolt external solar to top off house batteries during the day? I don't want to add solar to roof.
Yeah. Oh, he's talking portable. Oh, I love portable. Okay, so a portable or deployable solar panel. You don't put it on the roof, but typically with these deployables or portables, they come with their own solar controller on the back of the solar panel. And this is what we got to make sure. We want to make sure the proper voltage is going from the solar panel to the batteries, because solar panels actually produce random voltages. It all depends on sun strike, how big the solar panel is or whatnot. It is DC, but it may be pushing 20 volts. Don't want to charge a battery at 20 volts, so we have a solar controller. If it says portable, just read to make sure that it says solar controller, then yes, throw that thing out there, plug it to your batteries, top off your batteries, charge your batteries, and it's actually a wonderful thing to do when you're putting your RV up for storage. Throw that out there, let the solar controller do its job, and that battery will stay charged.
So user PM4BO3GE8E asks...
That sounds like a password that no one can remember.
Yeah, they'll never guess my password if I put it out there in the open.
I have that as the name, and then password is password.
How to maintain RV batteries in the cold is what this question is referring to.
Move.
Just got my 2023 Cougar with lithium battery. I live in Canada. When in storage, do I just leave it plugged in all winter, or do I remove it and bring it inside my house? It has a heater switch inside the RV.
Okay. Activate the heater switch. If you're plugging it into storage, chances are you're not going to have a huge drain. In other words, unless you're going there from time to time and calling for something to turn on. In other words, don't have your furnace on. If you don't have anything on, it doesn't matter really how cold that battery gets. It's the discharge on a lithium battery when we're really talking about cold weather. Lithium cells do not perform well in cold weather discharging. They can charge just fine. They just can't discharge. So if you have it in storage, as long as you don't have, large items calling for that DC power, You don't need to take it off. Throw it in storage. Let the heater do its job. You can still plug it into shore power and let the charge nominally charge it, right? If you can set your charge amperage down to, say, 5 amps, nothing will happen. And that's really what we want. So most BMSs, whenever they get cold, they'll either shut down the charge or reduce it to 5 amps or less. So that's all that's going on.
Annibal 477 full. My Jayco came with 30 amps connection. Can I switch to 50 amp?
It is not recommended. Yes, you can. You got to know what you're doing, but it's not recommended. Okay? Unless you hire a qualified electrician to do that, I wouldn't recommend it. Not only that, but I'm sure you can lose your warranty. Now, if it's outside the warranty and you know how to do it, is it possible? Yes.
Now, what if he's just asking, can I switch my 30 amp connector to a 50 amp connector and plug it in? Because it could go either way.
Right. Now, if he's talking about could I use a dog bone and connect my 30 amp service to a 50 amp service using a reducer, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Because you're only going to pull 30 amps.
If the breakers work correct.
Right. All right. MNP 208. Referring to the top 2 RV black tank treatments put to the test. Oh, so this is Liquified.
Liquified
versus the other brand.
Digested. Okay.
Would adding some Dawn help decrease odors?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't know about odors. You're going to add a little slick factor on the sides of the walls. Here's the reason why I pause. I don't know if Dawn is going to upset the bacteria or the enzymes inside that tank. And that's what we really want, growing in there.
Didn't Matt say to just double the quantity of Liquified, and that would
also get rid of the smell as well.
And it's such a small amount that doubling it's
2 ounces
like
to 4
2
ounces.
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I know. See, here's the thing: people are getting the Dawn thing from something that's called the Geo method, right? Where they add a soap, a suffocant, and a water softener all together. And guys, that combination does kill the bacteria. It does make your farts smell like roses. Okay, but it doesn't get rid of the solids. So the question is what are you trying to cure? Solids in the tank or smell? Okay. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't, other than the question about does it kill the bacteria? Sure.
All right. So, in our final one for this series of Tech Tip Q&A, user BN4BI7UE4G.
Okay, user password.
I'm a little nervous transporting propane cylinders, but
Yeah.
where should I place them when we are moving from site to site? Do I find a place in my Class C, or should I put them in my Toad with the window cracked?
All right.
Suggestions? Am I worrying too much? Thank you.
No, you're so propane. Actually, when it combusts, it's between 900 and 1100 degrees, whereas gasoline combusts at 140 degrees. No, your concern is legit. So here's the thing. It sounds like she's got a motor coach. So we're talking portable cylinders, not her ASME tank. She's taken her motor coach to have up her cylinders filled. She goes, okay, now I have these portable cylinders where I put them. If no one is in the car, here's the thing. The DOT requires that you have a strap-down device, something that is 8 times the total fill weight of that cylinder. And a seat belt does make that qualification. Yes, if you have a Class C and you're towing a vehicle, put them in the back seat. Yeah, strap it in with a seat belt and crack the windows. Absolutely. If you now put it somewhere, transport it inside the RV, and let's say there's a leak, well, that's where you're at. Okay? And we know do well breathing propane. So, yes, put it in your car. It is perfectly legal, and if no one's in it, it's also smart.
And that leads me to another final question. I had a friend that used to use the little heater buddies inside the rig. So propane tank inside. Now, we used to use a Blue Flame portable heater, but I would run the hose through the slide out and put the propane tank outside.
Right.
So that's probably not advisable.
Okay, so it all depends on size. Here's the thing. We're combusting inside the RV. Well, anytime you combust, have a fire, you are emitting carbon monoxide. And if you're using those, typically you use those for an extended amount of time. And, you go to sleep, well, if you got a lot of carbon monoxide build up inside the RV, well, you're sleeping beauty at that point, and you're never going to wake up. There is no Prince Charming waking you up. That's the concern with those heater buddies and any type of portable propane space heaters. Okay, they do make a heater buddy does make one small enough that actually says that it is okay to use inside, which means there's probably very little carbon monoxide. Here's the thing. If you need it to take the chill out of the air, okay, do not go to sleep with those things on. Use your furnace or use, something else. But if it's like you walked in, you forgot to turn on the heat, yeah, temporarily. But remember, carbon monoxide will sneak up on you. You get a headache, depending on, because there's nothing else in there. You may feel a little bit nauseous. Don't go lay down. Open the doors and get some fresh air in there. Yes, it's going to get cold again, but don't just go to sleep.
Better than dead.
And there's your tech tip.
All
right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today. Now for the reason that you're out there in the video, roll the bloopers.
All right, welcome back to part 3 of Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesdays. He's checking his phone right now. Regarding RV batteries, is charging while driving. Okay, let's start that over. And Angel allow.
All right, let's go.
The whole Steven kind of threw me off.
Steve. And that's his email, so he didn't misspell it. Okay.
Steve M.
Tres más.
All right.
Tres leches.
Agaic. I don't know why I turned into Beavis there for a second.